my main thing is to put the art out there, to affect people, to get people to connect to a more deep reality. But most people don't. Most people are involved in themselves and whatnot. And it's a very frustrating thing, and it's a very lonely thing. I'm in a particularly low point in my life now, at least in my adult life. And it's frustrating that all the years that I've done things for people, I've never had anyone do anything for me. I was thinking the other day, where the fuck are the people that give these sort of MacArthur grants, these genius grants? I think now in the U.S. the MacArthur grants are up to like $500,000 tax free. $500,000. That would be about 16 years worth of my average pay of what I earned, a little bit, around that. So basically, I could until retirement age. If I got a MacArthur Genius Grant, I'd never have to work again. Jessica would still have to work so we could have a little bit more or whatnot, but it would take a great burden off of us. She wouldn't have to necessarily worry about this or that. But and I'm sure that there are a handful of other people online or offline that similarly are producing, but we're not on the radars of the American grant giving scheme. And I don't know if you in Canada, if it's any better. I tend to doubt it because I've seen the crap that comes from Canadian publishers and whatnot. So I would think that they're no better. But you
No,
have,
they're not.
yeah. And this is, we talked about this before. This is this whole MFA granting process. Why the fuck does a Leroy Jones get a grant? I do these interviews. I interview a lot of these people who are academics, and a lot of times wanted to do an interview for a Robinson Jeffers show, and one of these women there said, "Oh, I'm so busy with setting up my next class for next semester, I can't do a show." It's like, what the fuck? You don't have 2 goddamn hours on a weekend to talk about something that you claim is so important to you? I mean, seriously, this is the kind of mindset they have. Uh, Other
Well, I
people,
don't know about you, Dan, but if you get some of these people alone and talking to them, a lot of what they espouse in public or in classes or what have you, and I'm a student right now, they say the exact opposite of. They'll trash some of the people that they're praising in these school programs, and they'll also go to the
just
extent of saying things. And you know how many of us think in a hierarchy sense that we rank artists. That's something that's absolutely antipodal to academia, but is something that they will be stating in hierarchies
yeah.
in private.
Yeah. Well, just today, I was also following up with a couple of people for doing a Thomas Eakins show, the famous American painter Thomas Eakins. And I got a couple of no's. I got one guy first who said yes, he'd do it, and then I got another woman who said so. I'm looking for one more. And the first guy asked me, who am I going to get? So I told him the name of this guy that I had gotten to do my Andrew Wyeth show. I said, if I don't get anyone else, I'm going to see if I can get him because he's written books about both Wyeth and Eakins. And this guy writes back, he's a charlatan and a fraud. He's a sensationalist and whatnot. So I've got so many emails of this kind of stuff. I could talk about people, and the bullshit that they talk about other people, and it is all bullshit. But the more cogent point is, why the fuck, if I'm on this MacArthur Genius Grant, and I've seen some of the people who win this, and on rare occasions, maybe out of every 100 Genius Grant winners, there's literally one or two that might be worthy of it. The rest of them are people who are making these $100,000 plus salaries in academia. They get sabbaticals. I don't know how many times I get bounce back emails that say, I'm on sabbatical until spring of next thing. I can't get back to you. Or, someone in the middle of a school year, I'm going to be gone for the next 2 weeks or whatnot. Where do they get all this time? And what do they do with all this time? I mean, it's ridiculous. I wrote A Norwegian in the Family, almost 2.5 million words in 17 months. I started, I think it was on February 16th or 17th of 2013, and I finished on July 16th or 17th. It was 17 months to the day. 17 months. This is a book that's almost twice as long as Proust's Remembrance of Things Past, which took him 17 years. And my book is much better, much more readable, infinitely better. You look at something like David Foster Wallace's shit, 500,000 words, and that took him 3 or 4 years to write that crap. But he actually wrote like, three times as much, but it's utter crap. What do these people do with all this time?